so excited. I got myself a board so I can show you guys a few things. The last video that I made was about marriage and procreation. Alright, so this one is going to be about, I'm going to use this verse out of Saravali, which is this book right here, Saravali, by Kilana Burma. And I may have said it wrong because I'm not really good at pronouncing a lot of these words. But anyway, the verse is, Lord Brahma created this universe at a time when Cancer was ascending with its Lord in aspect to Jupiter, while the other 5 planets were in their own sign. Should one have a similar radix, he will rule over the world, enjoying the company of the celestial dames. That's chapter 55, sloka 2. What I want to do is kind of give you guys a little bit of background using this verse about the birth chart. This is about Muhurta. Muhurta is the electional timing of things. It's to do things at a certain time. So I will be doing this in several episodes and probably going to paste them together. So if you see me in a different shirt or maybe a little, something's different or something, that's why. I'm going to paste them all together. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, here is the birth chart derived off from the statement that was made in Saravali. Right here is the ascendant. And if you go to a search engine and put in Vedic birth chart calculator, you will get back something that looks similar to this. It's going to be across the bottom of it usually. But what this is telling you is it's saying that the ascendant is at 3 degrees of Cancer, 0 minutes. It's in the first pada of the nakshatra of Pusha, which is Cancer. Okay, now the statement that was made was that the moon was in aspect to Jupiter. Based on some of the stories that I've heard and everything, Jupiter, who's known as Brahaspati, helped with creation. Okay, so normally a planet will aspect the 7th house from itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you see Jupiter's not there. Saturn's there. Now the reason for this is because there's more than just that aspect. Okay, there's the planet will make other aspects. It'll do a quarter aspect to the 3rd and 10th house. It'll make a half an aspect to the 5th and the 9th house, and it will make a 3/4 aspect to the 4th and the 8th house. Here and here. So the moon is aspecting Jupiter by a half an aspect. Alright, so that makes that statement true. Now the 6th house is an evil house. And the 8th house is an evil house. I would imagine to have creation, you'd want all your planets would strengthen the horoscope. So all of these planets right here are in their Von Graten degree, which I'm not going to get into that, but it's a special place in each one of the signs where the planets get a lot of extra oomph to them. So planets and aspects, you want to, so the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, all make a direct aspect to itself. So it's the seventh sign from itself it makes an aspect to. The planet of Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter have special aspects. Mars aspects the fourth and the eighth house from itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then 5, 6, 7. So it's aspect in the 11th and 8. Alright? So it's aspecting the 11th and the 12th house. And then Saturn makes a 3-5 aspect to it. So it's 3, 5, and 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright? So, and then Jupiter aspects I'm sorry, that's 10th house. It aspects the 10th from itself, Saturn does. Jupiter aspects 5 and 9, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you can see a lot of these planets are aspecting the ascendant. Okay. Now the interesting thing about Saturn being right here to the moon is that Saturn, given an aspect, Saturn in that particular degree or that particular nakshatra gives a lot of extra concentration to a person. And if I remember the story right, it says that, you know, Shiva was on sweating and he sweated out the oceans of the universe. You know, and it's funny too because in the Christian Bible it talks about that the spirit was moving over the waters. You know, so now we sit here and we look at the spirit. The spirit's Jupiter. The moon is the mind. The sun is the soul. Mercury is the higher mind. It's the connection with the higher philosophies, higher thoughts, connections with God. Venus is our desires. Mars is our motivation. It's our strength. It's our courage. Saturn brings grief, sorrow, and loss. And, you know, concentration, obviously we can see as one of its traits. The only thing that's long, takes a long time to do, Saturn has to do with time. And then Jupiter is, like I said, he's a spirit. And you notice he's in the 9th house. The 9th house has to do with the Father. What's the Father teach you? Father teaches you spiritual things, you know. I mean, just say you're a kid and take something from the store. Your dad's the one that's going to send you back to that store or make you put it back. You know, so that's where you get the spiritual learnings from. You know, this is also where you see your religious learnings from right here. The names of the signs, starting from the first house right here, or the first sign, is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, right here. Now, if you've seen my first video that I made, we talked about the creation, you know, the sun and the moon, and the fact that Jupiter is 9 places from the sun, which Jupiter represents children, and the moon represents the mother, and the father is represented by the sun. So these right here are other names that are used: Misha, Vishaba, Mithuna, Kataka, Sima, Kanya, Tula, Vrishaka, Danas, Makara, Kumbha, and Meena. Okay, now I want you to notice right here, these are the planets that rule each one of these signs. This means that these planets are associated with that sign. When it says rules, it's associated with that sign. Okay, so Aries is ruled by Mars, Taurus by Venus, Gemini by Mercury, Cancer by the Moon, Leo by the Sun, Virgo by Mercury, Libra by Venus, Scorpio by Mars, Sagittarius by Jupiter, Capricorn by Saturn, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Okay, now we can also, there's a masculine and a feminine to these signs. Okay, and they start right with the first sign, so you can always remember first sign masculine. So it's masculine, feminine, or, oh, sorry about that. Odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. But it's masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. Okay? So it's like the moon is feminine. Now they say that masculine signs are cruel signs. Feminine signs are not so cruel. Okay? This column I started to go down, they're movable, fixed, and common, or dual. Okay, so Aries is a movable sign. Taurus is a fixed sign. Gemini's a common or dual sign. Okay, and then that starts back over, you know, movable, fixed, common or dual, movable, fixed, common or dual, movable, fixed, common or dual. Now, you notice I left Rahu and Ketu as being nothing in there, because I don't really think that at this point in creation that Rahu and Ketu were actually being by at this time, you know, because there's a lot that there's stories that talk about, you know, Rahu and Ketu being one of the Nagas, you know, and his head getting cut off. But they were, you know, this was after the celestial ocean was, you know, created, you know, and this is about creation right here. So, you know, and Saravali said that, you know, that an auspicious time was chosen for creation. Now, that's all I'm going to say for right now. Okay. A couple corrections here. The moon, Jupiter is the ninth from the moon. I said the sun. And then Saturn, I said 3-5 aspect, I meant 3, 7, and 10. Okay, so it's 3, 7, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the 10th house, or 10th house from it. Something I didn't talk about is the creation story in the Bible. You know, it talks about certain things happened at certain times. You know, the water was there, then the firmament, and then the separation of the ocean, and the firmament, and then land, and then man was made, and on the seventh day he rested. Now, something that a lot of you don't know. Sunday is ruled by the sun. Monday is by the moon. Tuesday is ruled by Mars. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. Friday's ruled by Venus. Saturday is ruled by Saturn. Now what did I say in the last video? I said Saturn is grief, sorrow, and loss. It also brings the ends to things. Now if you look from right here in this creation Muhurta horoscope, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seventh day God rested. Saturn brings ends to things. Okay, so the creation was ended on the seventh day. It began with the sun and the moon. So you see here, the moon's in the ascendant, but as the day progresses, the ascendants move in this direction. So the next thing would have been the sun. Okay. So now I want you to think about this. Okay, the sun. On Sunday we worship God. On Monday we think about things. The moon represents the mind in the chart. Then on Tuesday we usually put things into action that we thought about on Monday. And then on Wednesday we schedule meetings and talk about things. A lot of us do. Because Mercury also rules communications, the speech. Then Thursday is Jupiter. People that go to church, when is your church meetings? A lot of them are on Thursday. They're not on Wednesdays. They're usually on a Thursday night. Venus rules our desires. What do we do as young kids? We desire to go out and mingle and to be with people. So this is why Friday is ruled by Venus. Then Saturday brings the end to the week. That's why the Latter-day Saints celebrate or go to church on Saturday, because what God says, He says, make this day holy. And so that's why the Latter-day Saints do it. I think they got a little bit more knowledge about astrology than other Christians, maybe for that fact, who knows. But so this is also seen from astrology, the 7 days.